tonight's speaker is going to be Mary Anne Burrows. And Mary Anne, DTM, will be giving her speech from her Advanced Manual Public Relations. Speech number 3, called the Persuasive Approach. The purpose of the speech is to persuade the audience to adopt a point of view advocated by the speaker. The speaker should use a combination of fact and emotion to focus on the personal interest of the audience. Her time will be from 5 to 7 minutes. And the title of her speech is Stop and Smell the Roses. Help me welcome Mary Anne to the lectern.
Fellow Toastmasters, have you ever had a moment in time, a defining moment where something occurred and from that moment on shifted the way you looked at life? I've had a moment like that. It was a number of years ago as I sat in my mother's hospital room on one of her final days. We were chatting as mother and daughter often do, when suddenly the energy of the conversation began to shift. For some reason, I knew that what she was about to say was going to be very important. So I fumbled through my purse and found a scrap piece of paper and a pen and began to write down the things that she said that day. I thought they were so important that I typed them up and I passed them out to her loved ones at her memorial service and also read it there. So today I'd like to share a few of those thoughts. She begins with saying, "It all happens so fast." Isn't that true, how quickly our life passes? Doesn't it feel sometimes like the big wave is just rushing you into the ocean and we don't have any control? I think she was trying to tell us to stop and smell the roses of our lives, because it does go so fast, and we have to make it valuable, important in the things that we love. We had lots of good times. And isn't that true of every single person in this room? Don't we have lots of very good times? And yet why is it we spend about 95% of our time and energy on the thing that's not working in our lives? And we push those special moments to the side when beautiful things happen to us every single day of our lives. You know, many people suggest that we have a gratitude journal, where every night before you go to bed, you just jot down a couple things that reminded you of something special in that day. We're so fortunate in this country. Just having running water and flush toilets is an amazing, wonderful thing. And yet there's many other things in each one of our lives that happens every single day. But do we push them in the corner as we compulse over the thing that doesn't work? Take time to spend with friends and families. Isn't that something we really need to purposefully work on? There's a song by Eric Clapton in the mid-70s called The Cat's in the Cradle. Most of you probably remember that song. It's about a dad who has a little son, but he's off doing business trips and whatnot, which he needed to do to support his family. But he missed those important moments, that first walk, first word. And then when that little boy began to grow up and became a father himself, the father began to realize the importance and the value of those special moments spent with his son. And he said, "Come on, son, let's get together." And he responded to his dad, "Oh, Dad, I've got things to do. I've got a mortgage to pay, kids to take care of." And though that little boy had looked up to his father all the time and wanted to spend time with him, father realized his son had actually become just like him, but not in exactly the way he had hoped. So take time and spend with loved ones. Do the things you love to do. How many of you have a bucket list? Come on, nobody? One. Go home, make a bucket list. Put the things on that list that you want to do, the places you want to go, people you want to connect with. How many times have you run into somebody at the store and you say, "Carol, we got to get together soon"? And then we go home and 3 years pass. Get out that calendar, pick up the phone, and make a date with that person. If it's important, make sure you put it in the forefront of your life. She goes on to say, forgive others and forgive yourself. How many of us came with a manual? We don't know what we're doing here. We're struggling to figure out what it's all about. So when you make a mistake, just like a tiny baby that's learning how to walk, who pulls themselves up the very first time, they wobble and then they fall on the ground, right? Some of them sat there for another couple weeks or months before they tried to pull themselves back up again. But each time they did that, they were actually developing the muscles in their bodies to help them to walk across the road. So when you make a mistake, pull yourself back up, dust yourself off, learn from your mistake, then take that next step forward. And do the same thing for your brother. So today, fellow Toastmasters, I encourage each and every one of you to go home, take out a piece of paper and a pen, and make a list. It's your smell the roses list. And I don't mean just physical roses. I mean the things that are important to each one of you. And it might be different from you to you. And it can be fantastic trips or exotic places. Or it can simply be connecting with a friend or going for a walk in the park. But really focus in on the things that bring joy to your heart. And as for Mom, thanks for reminding me